I've been working on building a new road bike, and one of the things I need that I didn't have in my parts bin is a new set of wheels. I tell you, wheels have gotten a lot more expensive since I built my last bike. So I did find a set of disc brake Shimano RS wheels, and they look really good, except they've got 12mm through axles. That's not going to work on my bike. I'm going to have to find some way to adapt these to fit quick release dropouts. This front wheel is 12mm through axle, 100mm, and I need to adapt it to fit a quick release dropout that's 9mm in diameter. You can get 12mm by 100mm by 9mm quick release adapters pretty readily available in that size. But the rear axle is a little bit different. This one is a 142, 12mm through axle, and I need this to fit in a 10mm rear dropout. If you look for a 142 quick release axle conversion axle, there is one on eBay for these as well, one on Amazon. But they're all advertised as being 142 for a 9mm dropout. And rear dropouts are 10mm. So I don't know if that's a typo or if people are just putting 9mm dropouts in here and running them sloppy. I don't want to do that. Instead, I thought I would make my own axles. I've actually already done one. I made the front one, and I'll kind of show it to you here in a moment. But it turned out really well. I'm happy with the way it fits. I'm happy with the way it looks. And I want to make one for the rear axle. And so that's where I thought you all might find this interesting. I'm going to walk you through kind of what I want to do, and then we'll go over to the lathe and I'll show you that. So for stock, I am using some 12mm by 5mm aluminum tubing that I bought on Amazon. Tolerances are really good. Might as well start with something that minimizes the amount of work. I'll switch over to the lathe and chuck it up. And while I'm doing this, I should mention that I am not a machinist. I'm not good at using a lathe. I barely have any experience with it. I'm going to cut this to length, 154mm, and we're shooting for 152, so that'll give me just a little bit of room to face the edges. Alright, hopefully you can see this. So here's my plan. Reduce down the end of it to 10mm so it fits in the dropout. Cut the center to 142mm so it fits the hub, and then reduce the other side down. And that should give me an axle that'll fit into the dropouts, but that will also support the hub. So I'm going to start, I think, by reducing this end down from 12mm to 10. I'm using one of those cheap Chinese lathes, and they're not even cheap, but I'm using one of those Chinese mini lathes. And I tell you, this thing is always broken. I went ahead and added some small O-rings into the grooves I cut. Like I mentioned before, these will keep the axle from sliding out, or the adapter from sliding out when the wheel is not on the bike. And it'll also keep water from getting in between the wheel and the adapter, and getting corroded in place. So I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. Let's go see if it fits. I'm putting a little bit of silicone grease on these O-rings just to help them slide in place. Get both sides here. And then with luck, this should just push in with a little bit of resistance. Awesome. I think that fits pretty well. Looks pretty good. Sweet. And I mentioned earlier that I had done one previously for the front. I'm going to show that to you as well. And it's pretty much the exact same part, just a little bit shorter. And this one fits, the O-rings fit a little bit more tightly. You kind of get the idea. Just like a normal quick release wheel would. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed this and you think it's something I should do more of, post a comment and let me know. Of course, if you think I should not, well, share that with me too. So that's it. Thank you for watching.